You could be a special boxer, but don't really have like the IQ and I ain't gonna say IQ, but like the boxing knowledge. As I say boxing knowledge. Because
Yeah.
in my brain, how I look at him, like he's a talented, special fighter who got like God given abilities.
Because of Mayweather and Gervonta Tank Davis's ongoing animosity, the boxing community has taken a keen interest in this purported collaboration. So, there are people fighting in the 130, 135, and 140 range. That's where they're piled up, Mayweather said. At the moment, skills are what pay the bills. At 135 pounds, Shakur Stevenson is without a doubt the most proficient boxer, but Gervonta Tank Davis is undoubtedly the biggest puncher. Mayweather, who is renowned for his technical skill and perfect record, provides Stevenson's training camp with a plethora of knowledge and strategic insight. The goal of this collaboration is to get Stevenson ready for one of the hardest fights of his career, a matchup with Davis, who is known for his forceful knockout style and aggressive fighting style. By utilizing Mayweather's experience in these areas, the training sessions have concentrated on improving Stevenson's defensive abilities, footwork, and tactical approach. Mayweather is expected to have a significant impact on Stevenson's training, which could give him an advantage in the eagerly awaited fight. Shakur Stevenson is eager to compete against the best athletes in the 135-pound weight class after his convincing victory over Artem Haronian. He has been outspoken in his pursuit of the big battle he has long wanted. Which candidate is the best fit? Will it be the current champion at 135 or a young talent ready to reach his big dreams? If you're making predictions, pay attention to who else is running. At the Prudential Center, Stevenson wowed the supporters in his hometown with a performance of flawless defense and lightning-fast quickness. However, the show did not live up to the thrilling spectacle that spectators had anticipated. Even though Stevenson successfully defended his title at 135 pounds, it brought attention to concerns leveled by detractors who believe he is a less fan-friendly competitor. The American boxer requires a competitor who can push him to the edge in order to confront the market and realize his full potential. Perhaps the secret lies in a name like Gervonta Davis, who is the biggest in the 135-pound weight class. Yes, but people are lying, you know. Like, not many of these men are my kind. I'm not joking, Stevenson declared. I'm one of those guys who will be honest with you. I will not enter there and make false statements. For example, if you ask Tank about me and him sparring, he'll tell you that I'm garbage, a jerk, and not very good. But after that, you'll see recordings of this person saying to you guys that Shakur Stevenson was his teacher. At 25, Stevenson is hungry for a rival who is willing to fight back and has an impressive toolkit. Here comes 29-year-old Davis, who not only satisfies but surpasses these standards. Known as Tank, Davis has enthralled spectators with his powerful knockout skills. He has a substantial and devoted fan base that should spark their possible matchup. Furthermore, the already high level of anticipation around their possible matchup is heightened by their long-standing rivalry. Imagine seeing a battle of drastically different fighting styles, Davis's powerful knockout punch and in-ring intellect versus the WBC champion's accuracy and dexterity. In this conflict, technical skill could win out over brute force. However, Stevenson has the difficult task of avoiding being overpowered by the aggressiveness of the Baltimore native. Can he continue to demonstrate, like he has in previous battles, his skill of hitting without getting hit? I won't claim to have defeated Tank by any means. It was a chess battle, bro. I won't reveal anything more. It was well done work, Stevenson said. I won't lie to you, though, I promise. But like, how many times has he promised to take on a top fighter and then never really fight him? He is currently 30 years old. Like, what exactly are we discussing? Like, 30 years old, talking about fighting me. Oh, when will we fight? Next, he says. All right, then carry it out. All you have to do is send an offer. I'll be right here. Promoter interest in investing in the possibilities of the anticipated battle is sure to generate attention. A pay-per-view event is in the works, with both boxers putting up their biggest test against one another to yet. Stevenson is in position to win yet another championship and earn a large salary. But is it too early in his career to take a gamble like this? The native of Newark could be better off taking a chance on a rival with a comparable style first. William Zepeda personifies the deepest nightmares of every combatant. He is a formidable opponent in the ring because of his unrelenting pressure and aggressive fighting style. The Mexican boxer, who defeated Giovanni Brera handily in just 3 rounds, is poised for a title chance and is eager for more. Few would contest his status as one of the most captivating talents in the boxing world today. So it sets up another fight, though one with less on the line for Stevenson, between an extremely talented boxer and a vicious, high-risk brawler. Styles are supposed to dictate matches, so fans can expect an exciting show. Zepeda's relentless pursuit and boxing skill contrast dramatically with Stevenson's preferred strategic withdrawal approach. Expect explosions in a fast-moving confrontation, heightening the suspense. Zepeda presents a challenge in strength and unshakable determination unequaled by any opponent the champion has faced before, while Stevenson faces a skill set he has never encountered before. Yes, and a lot of people believe Zepeda has nothing in common with Shakur Stevenson. Tonight, Shakur Stevenson overcame Arum. It's true that Shakur and Zepeda have a 50-50 chance of winning. Even with all of the excitement around the impending fight, Stevenson can't help but question whether Zepeda's name is significant enough to actually improve his standing. Will beating him bring him the fame he so desperately wants? It could be due to this uncertainty that Stevenson turned down Oscar de la Hoya's invitation to take on Zepeda. However, Stevenson's choice makes sense because he probably has opponents who share his aspirations. To the amusement of the fans, Stevenson wore a t-shirt that said, "Bob is saving his son from his ass-whooping." The one-time super featherweight champion proudly wore a t-shirt with his son's idol, Vasyl Lomachenko. Stevenson has been calling out the Ukrainian champion, who won the IBF belt back in the highly competitive 135-pound class, consistently. Lomachenko was holding out to find out if he would face Dion once more. I believe it's only fair that Lomachenko and I square off against Dion, who is heading up to 140 to take on Regis. That's what we need to fight for, Stevenson declared. Given that the Matrix fights under the top-rank umbrella, this fight seems like one of the easier ones to set up and might be the battle where Stevenson finally puts an end to Lomachenko's career at 135 pounds. Logistical obstacles seem to be few, even if Stevenson discusses free will. Maybe Bob Arum will try to get back to him. Would a fight with Lomachenko serve as the spark? Though it's a strong possibility, Stevenson, who is expected to have a big influence shortly, may choose to take a completely other route. Floyd Mayweather, after all, adopted a similar strategy. Shakur Stevenson's reputation is starting to suffer greatly because people believe he is a bland boxer. With a unanimous decision victory over Artem Haronian last weekend, he was able to retain his WBC lightweight title. The judges scored the bout 119-109, 118-110, and 116-112. Still, a lot of fans think the Newark southpaw stayed out of the fight. Boos resounded around the arena as the bout came to an end, and video showed spectators getting up from their seats before the final bell. Shakur has stated that he wants to improve his hitting skills, therefore he should be aware of this response. Towards the conclusion of the evening, there were a few jeers here. I was taken aback. How do you feel about that? Stevenson answered, I believe he was the reason behind the jeers. He's not actually trying to start a fight. Stevenson's victory was indisputable. He was too strong for Haronian to contain, and his efficiency was significantly greater than the German's. Interestingly, his deceptive style frequently casts him as a counterpuncher who favors retreating. Although the home fans want Shakur to be more aggressive, he saves that style for opponents who really test him and force him to adopt a different tactic. Remarkably, despite facing opponents like Edwin de los Santos and Harutunian in his last two fights, Stevenson has not felt uneasy or forced to take risks. The crowd booed the American after the battle, but he responded, "This is how you will see the best version of me when you put me in the ring with someone to fight and compete." He's right about that, but the fan wants the fighter to be motivated and equipped to try to take out his opponent if he can dominate like he did the night before. Regarding his opponent, the winner continued, "I would have liked him to try a little harder so the fight would have been more fun." He further acknowledged that in order to stand out more in the future, he would need to make a significant adjustment. "I have to cut the ring a little more because my opponent was going one way and then the other, so I have to go back to the gym and work on cutting the ring." And against whom does Shakur plan to demonstrate his abilities? Lomachenko. That seems like a fun fight. Someone who would enter and attempt to prevail? Making a fight is enjoyable. Technically, it's sound. To have this fight, Stevenson must, of course, renew his contract with promoter Top Rank, and he has already turned down their first proposal. We are aware that Gervonta Davis is seeming set in the interim to fight on January 27th against Frank Martin. Fans can expect the match they have been waiting for if Tank prevails, where Shakur will have to change up his game to counter an excellent opponent. The unbeaten Stevenson, who is rated #1 by Ring magazine, ought to satisfy the supporters.